Hello and welcome to part 0.25 of my Glover AML tutorial. This part of the tutorial is just going to be going over how to hold the controller because a lot of new people to this game seem to have an issue figuring out what's the best way to hold the controller, since we don't hold the conventional style with the control stick. We hold more like this, but we also have to press the L button a lot, and a lot of people seem to get really confused about what's the best way and how the professional people do it. So I'm going to get a little insight of how I do it and some of the ways that you can do it, and just some of the ways that you can optimize holding the controller, because it's actually pretty important for this game. So I'm going to take you to Prehistoric 2 because I feel like this is a good level to show this off. When we start here, we want to get to that lower platform all the way down there on the left. So if I just try L mashing off, only using my left hand, not even using my right hand at all, you can see like it's very hard to get fast going L mashes. You can't really do anything to bounce there, so obviously it's pretty difficult to like spam the L button, move with the D-pad all at the same time. So realistically, the only way you can fastly L cancel is if you use your right hand. So a lot of the times it's going to be using your right hand over onto the side of the controller to mash it a bunch. Now, where this starts to become tricky is when you want to use buttons on this side. So obviously you want to be able to move, but a really crucial thing is being able to catch your ball in the middle of the air. So let's say you're going, hold B, and then if you start tapping the L button like that, you'll be able to grab the ball. You don't want to hit it too fast, because if you start hitting it really fast, your grab animation won't have a chance to start. But if you start L mashing, you go off an edge, and then you want to stop, hold B and just slightly tap the L button, you'll grab the ball and you'll be fine. From here you can cancel out of it without throwing it by pressing Z. So you may be thinking, well, what's the best way to press Z? So if we look at the bottom of the controller, I usually grab with my left hand, but you can use your right hand too. And I press the Z button with like my middle finger, and that's how I get down. And to give you an example, let's say I want to get across this gap, so I'm holding B up here, so I'm going to hold forward, press Z, and then I'm going to take my hand off of holding B to mash it with my right hand. It may seem like a lot, but once you start to get a feel of how untraditional it is and you just get more comfortable with it, you'll be able to improve in this game much faster. So showing it again, I'm going to press Z with my middle finger, and then I'm going to go immediately with my right hand over to start L mashing. Now, how I've been L mashing is just, I purely use my hand on the L button, but a really good strategy that you can do is mash with the L button, have your thumb over here to grab all the buttons. So you can mash here, and then if you need to press B, you got a B right there. You need to change the camera, so I can kind of show that here. You can start mashing. I'm not very good at it because I've never done it, but the concept is basically you can mash and then you can change the camera so that you keep on getting a good angle. I'm not really good at that. I never learned it that way, and I don't plan on relearning it that way, but if you're starting off, I'd recommend trying to learn it in that fashion, since you'll have more control over what buttons you're pressing as you're mashing. I just personally never learned it that way because this is the way I learned it, but it's not a huge big deal, because a lot of the times if I need to change like the way I'm looking, I can either just take my right hand off and keep mashing just slowly and adjust the camera, or I can just stop in the middle of the air. You'll find your own groove to how you want to hold the controller and mess around with it, but these are just some of the little tips and tricks that I've been using and that other runners use to go pretty fast. So hopefully that's helpful, gives you some more insight on how to properly hold the controller and utilize it while doing your runs.